Hey guys, it's Zena. When I first started in the horror industry, I thought that I was going to be the bee's knees. I thought that people were going to think that I am so awesome, I'm so passionate, my content is out of this world. I'm going to be able to get so many opportunities. It's going to be no problem. I'm going to swoop in and just pick what I want, no problem. I started to notice over time that when I would go for these certain opportunities, I would just get doors slammed in my face, door after door, and I couldn't understand why, because the people who would receive these opportunities, we were talking about the same movies, about the same series. We even had similar backgrounds where they started around the same time, and I just didn't understand. But, I didn't want to think it had to do with the color of my skin. I just thought, you know what? It's because I'm a noob. I'm new. I'm the new girl. So what I need to do is I need to improve and switch it up, where it'll be like, I'm going to be so undeniable. People are going to, see my work ethic, see what I can do, and won't deny me. They can't deny me. So I decided to improve by taking a writing class. I really wanted to lure people in with my writing. I invested into film equipment because I wanted my videos to be out of this world, okay? And I would even watch interviews. I would research them and study the heck out of them. And what's weird is, it was like the weirdest times that I would watch these interviews. I don't know, it was a weird time in my life. But I would study these interviews because I would make sure that I'm personable, that I'm likable, and that I'm interviewing people correctly. It also got down to the point where I wanted to coordinate my clothing. I wanted to make sure that not only does this shirt look great against my skin tone, but it looks awesome on camera. So I wanted to try to get people with all senses, And it got down to the point where I actually became overqualified. So what I mean by overqualified is I would go after a writing job, right? But not only could I write, but I knew how to promote it on social media. I knew how to strategize in a way where people will click, people will share, right? Or say if there was a video hosting job, I knew how to be in front of the camera and I knew how to be behind the camera because I knew Adobe Creative Suite. And I thought that I was making my way, but I found that I was still getting rejected and I did not understand why. And then that's when I started to see the difference, that the people who are getting these opportunities, they had a different skin color than me. And it was a very hard pill to swallow because something that I absolutely love, I love horror, I love the community, it made me feel that I wasn't good enough. It made me feel that I didn't belong. And something that you love so much could also bring you such just pain, like the worst type of pain. And I say that it's the worst type of pain because I stayed persistent, knowing this, seeing what was happening around me. I would see people who I started with, people who even started after me or even before me. Some of them even decided to leave horror and go to a different industry. And I got it. I understood why they left, but I couldn't do that because, as I said, I love the genre. This is just something that for some reason, I couldn't shake for years. And it got down to the point where my family and my close friends, they knew what I was doing. And some of them even came at me with love, where they would ask hey, you have this degree, why don't you go do this? Or one even flat out told me, why don't you give up? And that was, as harsh as it sounds, I know that they were coming from a place of love because they would hate to see the look on my face when I wouldn't get something. and not even trying to be dramatic. There were some times when I would cry. I would cry because, not only did I work so hard to get something, just to see the person who receives it, they have less experience, less knowledge, just less passion. That hurts, like, seriously, to the core. But again, I stayed persistent. I didn't give up, and I've been doing this for 10 years. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't had any success, that I haven't been fortunate, because in a lot of ways I have. I've been able to handle the social media for some extremely awesome movies such as Turbo Kid, Terrifier, To Hell and Back, and so many more. I was even able to do set visits to like some of my favorite series, and even being able to like spend time with like horror icons, like where they look me in my eyeballs and we have a regular conversation, and not because I'm a fan. Of course, that's awesome. But a lot of my challenges that I faced as a Black woman in horror, it had very little to do with my passion, with my knowledge. It had to do with the color of my skin. And I've gone through so much. I'll just give you a few, just a few. So with one, there's a broad pay gap. And an example what I mean by that is, I remember I was working at this company and HR pulled me aside. This woman in HR pulled me aside, and she said to me, "We really need to boost up your pay." And I didn't understand what she was talking about, but basically she told me, which I'm not going to say her name or the company because for her security, because I know that she obviously wasn't supposed to tell me this, "Your other colleagues, they're getting way more than you are." And I know that she did it because she saw my work ethic. She saw how much work and time I put into that company. So all of my colleagues, they were all white. I was the only person of color, and they were very diverse in gender. Another situation with a colleague that I considered a friend, we were very close. We confided in each other. We would share each other's goals. We would just randomly have conversations like, "Hey, did you see that movie?" "I did." "Oh my gosh, look at her face," And we would just randomly have, those conversations. There was a time when I had an opportunity and I was elevated to this opportunity, and I decided that I wanted to bring this person on because I know that he's a hard worker. I know that this is something that he needs right now, and I wanted to give him a shot because it's like, I win, you win. Then not too long after that, with my friend, he actually had an opportunity where he was elevated to this new, it was like a very new opportunity, and I was excited for him because this is exactly what he wanted. I know that he'd be able to rock it. But I was also thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is so great because I know that I would be so great for the team. I know that he's going to pick me because, we're friends, and plus, he knows my struggle. This person looked me in my eyes and, he knew my struggle. I was not picked for the team. And at first I thought, okay, the reason why he didn't pick me is because, it's probably a team of very advanced people in their careers, so that's why he didn't pick me, and I desperately wanted that to be the reason why he didn't pick me. But that was not the case at all, because there were 2 people on that team who had no experience at all. I know this because I actually got a call from the company, from someone at the company, where they basically wanted me to train these people for free. The reason why is because my friend, he told the company that I'm too busy, that I don't have the time to do it. But instead, she could, train them. And I'm pretty sure, she'll do it for free. You don't have to pay her. And this, like I said, this was my friend. At least I thought it was my friend. All of the people who were on his team, they were actually white. There were no one of color on that team at all. There was no people of color. After the project was over, a couple of months later, he calls me like nothing is wrong, saying to me, oh man, I'm so sad that you couldn't be on the project. You know, I wanted to say so much stuff to this friend, but I stopped myself from saying anything because I didn't want to be labeled the angry black woman. For the longest time, I used to wonder, why am I not good enough? Why do I get disregarded? I now know that I'm more than enough and there's nothing wrong with me. I actually feel that with all the things that I went through it for the young black women in horror. I went through it to be an example to them. I say this because when I first started in horror 10 years ago, I didn't have anyone that looked like me that I could look up to. I didn't have someone to even go to ask or even to tell them like my true struggles. That's one of the reasons why I've never made a video like this. I never said anything like this. So I'm just really hoping that this helps, you know, a young black woman who is so in love with horror movies that she stays up all night watching them. She loves, you know, making reviews or videos or podcasts or writing about stories about them or artwork or makeup. I just want you to know that you are more than enough. You are smart. You are beautiful. You do not have to work for free to prove that you deserve to be at this company, even though your counterparts of a different pigmentation, they get the job straight off the bat and they're getting paid. You deserve a livable wage. Your passion is not to be dismissed. You need to be and continue to be unapologetic about who you are, what you love, and you just go after it. I just wish that I knew this 10 years ago, that if you have your passion, you'll always have your self-worth. And do not take that for granted. But that's my video. I just wanted to tell my truth. I felt that it's important to do that in hopes that this will help someone. All right, bye guys.